As Kamala Harris likes to say, California represents the future of the country. So what does it mean if that state breaks apart due to political divisions? The petition right now to split California into 3 states just got enough signatures to go on the ballot this fall. It actually could happen. Tim Draper is one of the most famous venture capitalists in the world, a person who helped start a lot of famous tech companies. He wrote the Cal 3 petition, and he joins us tonight. Tim, thanks for coming on.
Great. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having me on your show.
So I'm not really sure what to think of this. It seems like it's possible. It sounds like it's going to be voted on. It could pass in California. Maybe the Congress will approve it. I can understand why California wants to break into 3 states because it's too big, it's unmanageable, and it's not working. Why would that be good for the rest of the country?
That's a good question. Well, we know that at least 600,000 Californians want to make sure that we've got Cal 3 passes, and so I think that the rest of the country will just want to do what's right for California. I mean, it takes up the same land mass as 15 states on the East Coast. Right. The population is the equivalent of an average of 6 or 7 states. So I think it's appropriate to have California represented by at least 3 states.
Right. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of Americans don't want to do what's best for California. Just me, for myself, maybe. But we've got a map on the screen here. So the top would be NoCal, the bottom SoCal, and then Cal would be Los Angeles. Looks like Orange County, maybe some of it. So how would this break up politically? So each state would have 2 senators and then the representative number of members of Congress. But what do you think the political division would be? Republican, Democrat?
Well, you know, I think what we're really looking at here is we're trying to create states for the next millennial. The blockchain's changing everything. Government is going to be completely different. This isn't a partisan thing one way or another. It's something that the world really needs, and to get a fresh start, I believe that California has the opportunity to now get better representation and get a fresh start. So 3 new states can be created.
Right, but it is
a states can take on whatever kind of governance that they think is appropriate for the next millennial.
Right, but it's a partisan system
that we've got that's kind of ruining California.
So I was just saying it's a partisan system, though. So the rest of us are affected by the balance of, say, the Senate, and it should be interesting to know what new balance we'd get if this happened. But let me just ask you finally, one of the many things California would divide is its debt.
I actually think that these 3 new states are going to empower people to realize what's possible in government, and then all these governments will realize that they can do a better job, and they can potentially compete with one another down the road for citizens, and which is what they kind of do now. But California is kind of a monopoly. Nobody wants to leave, but we're still stuck with the same government we've had for all these years, and it's failing our kids. It's failing our. It's not safe here. We have many homeless people. We have a lot of big problems. The education system is just about the worst in all 50 states, and it's the biggest state. So it really does need sort of a revamp and a restart, and I think this is a good start to doing that, because then people can say, well, let's start from first principles. How do we empower these people? How do we create these new states, and how do we make these states really important and relevant for the next millennial, and how do we set a good example for all the other states in the country?
I think that, it can't be worse than it is now. So I think you make a fair point. Tim Draper, thank you very much for that. Possible break.